Here on my channel, I talk a lot about how to hack your productivity to get more done. But there are actually a lot of very common productivity tips that are thrown around all the time that actually do not work. So I wanted to start a little series here on my channel all about those productivity hacks that don't work so that I can explain to you why they don't work and how you can actually hack the productivity tips to actually make them more effective. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I'd like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells productivity tools, strategies, and skills to help you manifest success with less stress. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave some links down below in the description box where you can check out more of my work online. And feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. Okay, so let's jump into this first installment of this Productivity Hacks That Don't Work series. And for this first installment, I actually have a really big one. So the first productivity hack that does not work is making a to-do list. I know. You're probably like, cringe, what? Alexis, you've even talked about to-do lists in the past. Yes, absolutely, I have. And I know that for a long time, it has seemed like they are the it way to get more done, right? Like it kind of makes sense. Like you have things to do, make a list of the things you have to do, and then tackle the list. But the truth of the matter is that science has kind of really shown through testing why making a list is very popular and why sometimes it actually can become a little bit dangerous to our productivity to just be working off of a to-do list to get things done. So let me first explain to you the testing that has been done on to-do lists. So essentially, when you make a to-do list, it has been scientifically shown that just the act of writing down your tasks on the to-do list significantly reduces your stress and makes you feel more organized. Now, that feeling of being organized and having your, ish under control, that is completely independent of whether or not you actually get anything on the list done. So you can make a whole to-do list, sit there and feel accomplished and feel more organized, and literally walk off from your desk and never touch an item on that list. And you're gonna feel like you're more productive, even though in reality, you're not actually getting anything done. So that's the first reason why to-do lists can be really tricky. And one of the reasons why I think a lot of people talk about to-do lists and why I've even talked about to-do lists in the past as being like a great way to get yourself organized to be productive. But the issue is that they make us feel good even if we don't execute on them. And we all know that the execution is the most important part about judging whether or not we're being productive. Now, the second reason why to-do lists can be problematic is because let's say you sit down and you make that to-do list of heaven knows how many items. You most likely do not have time to actually complete all of the items in one day. And you most likely have not ranked or prioritized those items with any sort of prioritization method in order to create a viable action plan. So what you may find happens when you make a to-do list is that number one, just having all of the tasks written willy-nilly on one page creates a sense of overwhelm, right? And even if you tackle that list with the best intentions, unless you've put some sort of prioritization method in place for them, you may be working on things out of order or working on things that are not as high priority as others because you're just operating off of one single list. So whatever you do get done may not even be the best or most practical use of your time, which is why just writing a list of things to do and acting off of that isn't always the smartest for your productivity. Now, my third and final point on why a to-do list is not a very effective productivity method is because many times instead of putting tasks on our to-do list, we actually put projects on our to-do list. And this is actually a whole video that I did the other week called, I think, the number one mistake you're making on your to-do list. And it's all about the fact that oftentimes on our to-do list, we put multi-step projects on a to-do list as though they're an individual task or action. And then we actually find it hard to get that task done, or we get stuck on that task, or we're even unsure how to move forward on that because there are so many things that go into completing that item that we get overwhelmed and maybe even avoid doing it. So I highly recommend going to watch that video. I'll leave it linked down below in the description box. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out. But that is just another reason why making a to-do list can actually be slowing down your productivity instead of helping you to achieve more. So I know what you're thinking, Alexis, I know you keep lists of to-dos in your planner, and I do. So now I want to share with you a few tips and strategies for how you can use the concept of a to-do list effectively and efficiently so it is actually helping to boost your productivity, similar to the way that I use them. The thing here that we have to keep in mind is that the idea of using a to-do list in terms of sitting down, writing down everything you need to get done, and just acting off of that list is not taking any time to properly action plan. So I'm going to share some strategies now for how we can actually take the idea of a to-do list and make it better and more productive. My first suggestion is not to actually start with a to-do list, but instead to start with a brain dump. So a brain dump is the process of writing down all of the information, tasks, events, ideas, inspiration, and everything else that we are holding on to in our brain. I think for many people, their to-do lists actually are brain dumps, and they're actually just trying to operate off of a brain dump, which can be a very problematic situation. But the brain dump really is the first step or the rough draft in creating the plan where you are just listing everything out and getting everything out on the paper so that you are relieving your mind of having to hold on or to remember tasks that you might potentially forget. Now, tip number 2 is that once you've actually done that brain dump, organizing the items into a prioritization matrix is very important. So I love and recommend using the matrix that was designed by Stephen Covey in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People book, where you can create 4 simple quadrants in a layout, and each of the quadrants are listed as either important, not important, urgent, or not urgent. Then you can take each item that's actually on that brain dump list and then apply it to the quadrant prioritization matrix by determining if something is important and urgent, important or not urgent, not important and urgent, and not important and not urgent. So once you have your tasks broken up into the appropriate quadrant, you basically have a ready-made action plan to go and work off of. The important and urgent items will go on a new version of your to-do list for the month. The important but not urgent items can be scheduled into project plans or placed into a future master monthly task list to get them done at another time. The not important but urgent items can either be delegated to others, or if you don't have other people to delegate to, consider either communicating to the source of the item to push back on it, or consider whether or not as a last resort you really need to go ahead and move it onto your to-do list for immediate actions if you're the only one who can get it done. Finally, not urgent and not important items can be either deleted off of your task list entirely or put on some sort of list for the future, right? Something for you to refer back on in the future, like a someday maybe list, if that's what you want to do with the items. Because sometimes things do change and there are better or more appropriate times. Sometimes an item is not urgent or not important right now, but a few months down the line, it might be, and you don't want to forget about that item. So creating a someday maybe list or a future task list is just a great way to keep those items organized so you don't forget about them. So I hope that you can see that by using this 4-quadrant system, it actually helps you to begin to prioritize the items on that brain dump so that you can effectively act on them efficiently. Now, the third and final tip I have for you for improving your to-do list is to organize your tasks into project plans as much as possible. So projects are multi-step processes to reach a desired objective. So often projects will consist of many different tasks that cover a variety of contexts or categories of actions. So when your work falls into this description, creating a project plan will give you additional organization and productivity benefits by helping you to get clear on the objective, due date, resources, and action steps that you need to take for its completion. Once you have a project plan created, you can take the individual tasks and move them onto your master monthly task list so you get them done in that month that they belong to. And therefore, your items will then be organized and prioritized on a list of actual items that are important moving forward. Now, if you have been making to-do lists in the past and have gotten some great inspiration from this video, but would like some tools to help you actually start executing on this information, I have some great options for you. You can get my brain dump and organization matrix shown in this video as part of my Charmed Life Master Planner, or if you already have a planner system that you're using, that brain dump section is available as part of my Brilliant Ideas bundle over on my shop. I will leave all of the options for that down below. Of course, if you're using the Charmed Life Master Planner, you know that you already have a whole project planning section. So you can purchase the Master Planner if you don't have one. And of course, I also have a separate project planning bundle up on my shop in case you need to purchase inserts to supplement your current planner system. So make sure to check the description box for all the different options you have, because it's really great to have the right tools to help you get organized and productive when you are trying to effectively make a to-do list. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you have any tips for how you make your to-do list more effective, or are you one of the many people out there who makes a list and finds it hard to actually go ahead and execute on it? I would love to hear about it down in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with someone you think is planning wrong with a to-do list, right? Sharing is caring, and you want to make sure that we spread this message far and wide, because friends don't let friends make to-do lists blindly without the proper strategies in place. So make sure to share the video with anyone you think would find it helpful. If you would like more of the behind the scenes of my productivity life and business, make sure you are following me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.